Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another session here in Readers Magnet's featured author interview. My name is Leah, and I'm your host for today. And with me is one of the Readers Magnet's featured author. And today, yes, she will be sharing to us what this book is all about. Her as an author, and of course, what inspired her to write this book. So, yes, everyone, let's all welcome our one and only the golden one, Dr. Susan Aurelia Gitelson, author of the book Giving is Not Just for the Very Rich, a how to guide for giving and philanthropy. Yes, hello, Dr. Gitelson. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Oh, it's fun to be here.
Wow, wow. Of course, it is also such an honor for us to be given this, chance and another, topic that we will be talking about the importance, your whole journey. And it's really such an honor for Reader's Magnet to be part of your journey about this book. So, yes, I'm very excited about that, Dr. Gittleson. But yes, before we tackle more information about your book, of course, we wanted to know who Dr. Susan Aurelia Gitelson is. So, yes, a little bit of self introduction, please.
Well, thank you for your invitation. Um, I am someone who cares for others. That's the main thing because um, the whole message of the book is to give to others, to listen to other people, not to tell them what to think, but to listen to them and find out what's important to them and then help them to find a way to give to others. Now,
Wow.
the message is you don't have to be a billionaire to give to
Mm-hmm.
others. We know there are many billionaires, more and more, and they're having a good time. Some of us, most of us, are not billionaires. But what we can do is care for other people, whether it's in our family, in our community, in our school, in our church, wherever we go, listen to others and find out what's important to them. And then how can we help them? Because the secret is the more we communicate with others, the more we listen to others, the better they feel and the better we feel. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore,
Right.
we know in this country, too many people take drugs, feel sorry for themselves, have a
Mm-hmm.
terrible time. Some even commit suicide. And that's not for us because this is another way of doing things. And that is respecting other people, caring for other people, helping other people. It's just so wonderful. All we have to do is give. It's not just for the very rich, it's for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, thank you so much for that, Dr. Gittleson. You know what? From the very title itself, giving is not just for the very rich. I mean, you really highlighted in this book, the good influence of giving, and at the same time, the benefit of giving, and how would it help to, and how would it help to our people, and at the same time, towards selves as well. The impact about it. Now, can you also tell us more about that? Dr. Gittleson, about you highlighting that giving is not only for the wealthy ones.
Well, I've been giving since I was a child because my
Mm-hmm.
father encouraged me to give. He didn't have any sons. I was only a daughter and there was a sister, but other people weren't that interested in giving. But I saw that he was doing wonderful things. That his main contributions were books, rare books for university libraries. And then
Mm-hmm.
he would take me to adult meetings. Here I was 9 years old,
Wow.
and people didn't laugh at me, but they took me seriously and
Mm-hmm.
encouraged me to ask questions and get into conversation with him. Well, after that, how could I be afraid to give and to talk to others? So it was a wonderful, wonderful way to be in my life. And my life has continued since then. Um, Meeting people, asking questions, talking with people, feeling young. You don't get old when you care about others.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. You know, the impact of the interactions, the connections that we build from the people. And you know what, Dr. Gittleson, one thing that we really, appreciate how this book of yours, really, it really serves, as an eye opener for everyone, challenging the mindset of thinking, I'm not wealthy. So why should I help others? Your book is really something I believe that everyone should, read, should have. The title alone really conveys, a powerful message about, the importance of supporting others. It's not just about providing material assistance, but at the same time it's really about being present, listening during, let's say, challenges, or I mean, let's say, tough times, right? This selfless act of kindness is really invaluable for humanity, I mean, at the same time, the benefit of us giving to our people, giving right now is really has numerous benefits, right? Both for the giver as well as the receiver, right? It at the same time, it really fosters, the sense of community, the connection, just like what you mentioned earlier. At the same time, it also promotes the mental and emotional well-being, enhancing the feelings of happiness and fulfillment, right? Wow. And this is just so amazing, Susan, and how you come up with this book, your journey at the same time, the experience, the good influence of giving. Now, can you also, I mean, I must say, Dr. Gittleson, that checking your book online, you've been getting a lot of positive feedbacks, good reviews from people who read your book. Now, is there any times that you encounter as most difficult part of your writing process? Are there any key challenges?
Well, I started writing the book a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and since then, every time I talk with people, I'm so delighted because all I have to do is ask them what is important to them and get
Mm-hmm.
them talking. And then, and if they say to me, I can't give, I don't have any money, what should I do? Oh, no, that's not the right answer. You can give. You can give of yourself. You can give of your concern to others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, recently there were terrible fires in Southern California. It's a problem that's going to continue for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, all of us can help. I'll give you an example. I went to a doctor, and he had two assistants, and one of the assistants helped me. So I asked her, "How are you doing?" And she said, "Well, I have to work two jobs to pay the rent, but I want to help Southern California. What should I do?" And I
Right.
said, all
Wow.
you have to do is contribute to the Red Cross because they have all kinds of programs in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Southern California, elsewhere too, but this is a real problem area. Now, giving is a marvelous activity, but we have to beware of scams. I've been scammed.
Exactly.
I don't know about
Mm-hmm.
you. I have been scammed. I hate to say it. But the banks help you and they'll give you new checking accounts when it's necessary and so forth. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so important to find the right organizations to give. And in my book, for example, I have a whole section on the main watchdog agencies. Who's watching out for us to make sure that the money doesn't go to somebody who says, oh, just give it to me, I'll take care of it. Ha ha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, It's a whole list of them: Charity Navigator, Better Business Bureau, Guide Star, great nonprofits, the Independents, and on and on. So they're
Mm-hmm.
really authentic guides to giving wisely. It's not enough
Mm-hmm.
to give, you have to give wisely in ways that will really help others. It's a
Mm-hmm.
whole process. But once you get started, you feel good.
Right, right.
And, you can start with your family, you start with your community, um,
Mm,
start with homeless people you see on the street, but just be careful and
mhm.
sort of the guidelines to make sure that these are legitimate organizations.
Right. And you know what, Dr. Gitelson, creating this book, you are really highlighting the word, language had power. Language wields the immense power at the same time it also shapes our thoughts, on how you really influences perceptions about giving that could really lead to, a good connections between individuals, the cultures that we have. It really serves as a tool for really expressing, someone that express ideas, the emotions, the identities that we have, just like how you mentioned earlier that yes, this is really not just for the wealthy ones. Absolutely, giving is not exclusive to wealthy individuals. It encompasses acts of kindness. Simply being generous to someone can, you definitely, that anyone can really participate in giving, regardless the financial status, the time, let's say the skills. Compassion are really valuable resources that can what significantly impact people, the communities that we have out there, the individuals, whether through, just like what you mentioned earlier, the organizations, volunteering, sharing the knowledge we have, or offering a support to those in need. That is really just a simple act. Everyone has the, capacity to give and contribute positively to our society. And that's where this book of yours, Dr. Gideon, is really such a, priceless and a successful creation towards really helping and encouraging someone to help our people. Wow, and this is just so amazing.
Well, excuse me, Leah, you are amazing because
Oh.
you have gotten the message so well and you articulate so eloquently and you keep smiling, which means you really believe it.
Yes,
And that's
of course, Dr. Gittleson.
well, that's what we want to do with everybody. We want to help people and help them to realize they don't have to be very, very rich in order to be
Hmm.
helpful. Although there are a few people I really admire who happen to be very rich because you've
Hmm.
heard of Jeff Bezos, the head of uh, Amazon. Well,
Hmm.
he started the company with his original wife, and when they got divorced, she inherited a few $1 billion. Now, he or many wealthy men buy
Hmm.
yachts, buy fabulous apartments, houses, whatever it is, and they have a glamorous life, which may sound attractive, but it's
Hmm.
amazing. There are people like his former wife who want to spend their money on helping others. And
Right.
Mackenzie Scott does research on her own to find
Hmm.
organizations that really need help, and many of them are in the poor areas of our country. And she works out programs, and then she contributes, and then she encourages others to contribute. And it's just
Right.
marvelous. And you know who else
Hmm.
is like that? You've heard of Bill Gates, who's made a lot of money. Well,
Bill Gates. Hmm.
yes, he divorced his wife. And what does she do? She gives, especially to women, and helps others
Hmm.
because uh, maybe it's a lot of people want to be a billionaire, um, but it's amazing. It's not one derives more satisfaction from giving to others, even if it's a small amount, but it's genuine, than
Right.
having all the baubles and the yachts and everything. Although I've never had a yacht, I can't speak
Hmm.
to that kind of experience, but I can from uh, giving to others, working with others, finding others to admire. Um, for example, Michael Bloomberg was a self-made man. He I used to live near him, so I'd see the real person. But he has sponsored medical education for people in his alma mater. It's fantastic. You know, people who have nothing and say, "How can I be a doctor? I want to be a doctor, but I can't afford. How can I go to medical school?" And along comes this wonderful person who says, "Okay, I'll take care of your medical bills.
Wow.
Just work hard and then help other people."
Mm-hmm.
This is
See, so
how,
this is
yes, this is how we interact and becomes a cycle. And lots of people benefit. But it's not
exactly
only the financial benefit, but it's also the
right.
interaction and the caring for others.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you on that, Dr. Gittleson. The benefit of giving, really, it actually has a lot of benefits. Just like what you mentioned earlier, it's not just about the benefit of being acknowledged, but at the same time it really promotes the mental and emotional well-being, because you feel happy, the feelings of happiness and fulfillment. It can even improve what the physical health through reduced stress, and
Mhm.
at the same time increase longevity, because it's overall giving really what cultivates a culture of kindness, encourages reciprocal acts of generosity. And at the same time, yes, just like how you mentioned earlier, Dr. Gittleson, it would really contribute to a more compassionate society, you know this is just so priceless, Dr. Gittleson. Thank you so much. And of course, before we end our session, Dr. Gittleson, is there any message that you'd like to say to our viewers right now?
Listen to others, think about others, and help them to have more meaningful lives
Mm-hmm.
by by communicating with you and finding ways to help others. It's simple, but many people don't realize that. What can I do? You can do a lot, and you can make
Mm-hmm.
new friends, and really feel good about society. It's much better than taking drugs and committing suicide. That some people think is the way to go, but we have
Right.
another path. Thank you very much. Please join us.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Dr. Gilson. And yes, I must agree that giving, we not only improve the lives of others, but at the same time, again, it really cultivates a sense of purpose, the empathy, the compassion within ourselves as well. Wow, thank you so much for that, Dr. Gittelson. And yes, for our viewers out there, just to let you know that this book, if you wanted to grab Dr. Susan Aurelia Gittelson's book, that's available in Amazon.com, Barnes& and Noble, and also please do check her website. That's www.susangittleson.com. And yes, it's going to be your time to know more information about the author itself, and at the same time her journey, what exactly the book is all about. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Susan Gittleson. And it is such an honor for us to be given this chance to become, to be part of your journey. It is, wow, we love you, Dr. Gittleson. Thank you so much. So, yes, everyone, our one and only, the golden one, Dr. Susan Aurelia Gittleson, author of the book, Giving is Not Just for the Very Rich, a how to guide for giving and philanthropy. Again, thank you, Dr. Gittleson. And of course, as we say it here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you so much.
Oh, this has been marvelous. Thank you.
Thank you.